All right, call your next witness.
Your Honor, this time I'd like to call Daniel Morales.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Daniel Morales.
All right.
Mr. Morales, you've heard all of the testimony prior to this, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you've had that discussion about the need for structure, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you recognize that if this judge were to look kindly on the probation application, that none of that would matter if you do not have a desire for change.
Yes, sir. I understand.
And are you asking the court to grant you probation?
Yes, I am.
And pause right here. What we're seeing is a classic courtroom pivot. The defendant is asking for probation, but notice how the judge immediately reframes it. Probation only works if you want to change. It's not just about remorse. It's about transformation. That's the legal system saying, we'll give you a chance, but you better earn it.
And if granted probation, do you understand that there's a multitude of things that you could do that could get you sent to jail for up to 20 years?
Yes, sir. I understand.
You also understand that we know it was a back and forth with the alleged victim. Okay, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you understand that there's no more contact with that person.
There's no more contact.
Y'all don't have any children together?
No.
But you do have a child.
Yes, sir.
And part of when your grandmother when I was talking to her, but also on your urging, a lot of this is because you don't want your son to be dealing with what you're dealing with right now, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you recognize that you need to actually have some training and accountability to get you to a place where your child can inherit your recovery.
Yes, sir.
So, last question.
Let's talk about that last question. What does surrender mean to you? That's not just philosophical fluff. It's a test of accountability in the courtroom. Surrender isn't about weakness. It's about whether you're done making excuses or if you're still in the blame game.
For you, what does surrender mean to you?
I think surrender, well, to me, I think it means change.
You're willing to give up these past ways of reacting to situations you don't like.
Yes, sir.
And you're willing to accept instructions on how to respond to things you may or may not like, correct?
Yeah, I'm willing to change so I can do better for myself, not only for myself, for my son.
I will pass it.
All right, you may proceed.
Mr. Morales, how old is your son?
He's 4, about to be 5.
Okay. When your son grows up, if he gets involved in an altercation where he assaults his girl, for example, do you feel like he should be held accountable for doing so? What about if it's his mother? If he assaulted his mother, you think he should be held accountable? Do you think if he threatens someone's life, do you think he should be held accountable? I'll pass the witness, right?
Any further questions?
Nothing further, Judges.
I have a few questions. Any objections?
No objection from the state.
All right. So,
And what preferred judge, we would, in terms of the stipulations that we had tendered to the court, probably should have done this before. Believe those are the same steps that we signed previously with the amendments that we had. Okay.
all right.
And here it comes. The judge is about to dig into the defendant's violent history. 2 separate assault cases and a knife. Folks, this is where legal leniency meets a brick wall. Watch how specific details like ketchup become symbols for much deeper dysfunction.
Right. So this is my concern and what I'm looking at. You have a case from September 16, 2024 with this complainant, and that's pointing a deadly weapon at her, namely a knife. And then you have a case from December 8, 2024, and that's another assaultive behavior against the same complainant, and this time choking her. And all of this is over your breakfast not having ketchup. So, number one, what breakfast that you wanted did not have ketchup? This is just for me to know.
The only reason why I brought that up is because I was getting cheated on. And
No. So here's the thing. When people cheat on people, you have 2 choices. One, you forgive them and expect that they're accept that they're cheating on you. And if they deny it, you either say, okay, they've denied it, I'm going to let it go.
Yes, you heard that right. This entire violent altercation spiraled out of a missing bottle of ketchup. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. This moment exposes the explosive cocktail of jealousy, insecurity, and unresolved trauma that makes some cases feel less like crime and more like chaos.
But your choices are either you stay and you accept it or you move on. So back to this ketchup business. So what breakfast were you having that you were so upset that there was no ketchup?
She was upset she didn't have any, and I told her.
No, let me just tell you what the steps read. It says they spoke to the complainant. The complainant stated that they had been arguing since last night. You struck her on the face, and let me see, where is it? Where you told her to let that BAN get ketchup for her.
Yes.
So this was over ketchup. And it was you who wanted the ketchup.
No, I
It
didn't.
says that you wanted ketchup. So what breakfast was this? Eggs? It says the complainant stated today they argued because she made breakfast and they did not have ketchup.
I don't eat ketchup with my eggs. She does. And she told me that she didn't have any, so I told her to tell him to go buy it for her.
Yeah. And so how does this turn into you grabbing a knife?
Because she has people knocking at her door, and I couldn't defend myself.
Okay. So that's in September. So you grab a knife in September because you can't defend yourself because she has people in whatever category you're talking about. So then the question becomes, if you think she's cheating in September and you're telling her to tell some other guy to get some ketchup for her eggs, and you pull a knife on her because you're afraid of other people she has, then why are you with her in December?
Because when I got out, she told me that she wanted to take me back. And
But no, why would you want to go back? She's cheating on you. She has these other people in some category that you're afraid of, and you have to pull a knife on her. So why would you even go back to her?
because she told me it was just a sugar daddy that is just some old guy who gives her money. I believe it.
Mhm.
And
So then we come to the December case. And the December case involves choking. And it says that that she didn't immediately report because you're controlling and overhear her conversations and read her text messages. So it says that she contacted the babysitter to see if the babysitter could come by. And when the babysitter came by, she let the babysitter know what was going on. So I'm assuming this complainant you were with has children.
yes, she has children.
And when you say children, how many children?
She has two, a daughter and a son.
And what are their ages?
I think her daughter was 2 and her son was 6.
2 and 6?
Yes.
All right, so you all are having these children see violence in the household, 2 and 6. You think she's cheating? She says she's not. Then she tells you it's a sugar daddy, and you're okay with that, which means you're okay with her doing whatever she does to get money, according to you, from a sugar daddy. And where was your child in all of this? This child that now you need to be there for, and you want them to see different things. Where were they?
I was still seeing him every day, and she didn't like it because she thought I was talking to the mother of my child.
And that's the other thing. Why would you be with somebody who you think is cheating on you, who has friends in categories that you feel you have to defend yourself with a knife by placing a knife on her, who then tells you it's a sugar daddy, and to top it all off, she really doesn't want you around your own child? Why would you be with that person?
Because I made a mistake, and
Nope, these are choices. These are not mistakes.
yes, it was my choice, and my choice turned into a mistake.
All right. And what's with this tattoo on the face?
It used to say her name, but I covered it up to my brother who passed away.
All right. So, and then you get her name tatted on your face. So you get her name tatted on your face. Don't even have your son's name tatted on your face.
No, I have it on.
As a side note, this is what I always tell people. When you're getting tattoos of people's names, these are your best options. Your mother, because your mother's supposed to always love you, and your children. Getting names of females or males, Never a good idea. And what's with this San Antonio tattoo? Do you love San Antonio that much that you need that tattoo? What's that about?
I was born here.
Oh, a lot of people are born here, but they don't have a San Antonio. How many people are born here in San? Were you born? Do you have a San Antonio
I
tattoo?
have no tattoo.
I don't either, Judge.
So what's that really
I love
about?
San
I
Antonio.
recently started getting tattoos, so I like how tattoos are.
And then it says 210.
Yes.
Yeah, what's going on with the tattoo?
Like I said, it's just where I'm from.
All righty. Is that your story? You know, you stick to your story.
Yes, ma'am.
What's that tattoo about?
Like I said, it's just where I'm from.
Alrighty.
Well, I don't know for me.
Oh, no. You can ask whatever questions you want to ask counsel.
The environment in which you were raised, I think you probably get to what the court may be alluding to.
Look, are you a gang member?
No.
So why do you have that tattoo?
And if I could,
Sure.
and if you did, if it would be more along the lines of like thousands of people in San Antonio are posers. For example, there's thousands of people in San Antonio who unknowingly have, for example, the Michael Jordan Jumpman design on their arms because they think it's cool around other people, not understanding what connotation that has with actual gang members who are danger to this society and probably shouldn't be here. You understand that, but as basically a kid, how old were you when you got this tattoo?
I got it about a year ago.
Okay, so how old were you?
I was 21.
Okay, so as a 21-year-old, not fully understanding the ramifications of certain things, you personally just thought it was cool. It had nothing to do with you being a gang member.
No, I just got it because I started getting tattoos.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No stage, just argument.
All right. All right. In each of the cases, the court does, I don't think you're a good candidate for probation. Unless the complainant is going to walk in here and says that she wants you to have probation, it's not happening. I'm going to find you guilty in each cause number. You all have,
Your Honor, were we able to make the argument or support just?
I'm finding him guilty. You all can make an argument as it relates to the cap. All right, so it's a cap of 5. The court will hear argument.
In support of Kappa 5, Your Honor, the defendant has a long violent history. Essentially, since 2020, he's picked up violent offenses. In 2020, he got a cleansing assault. I was unable, since it's a city offense, to determine the facts of it, but I do know that he served 5 months deferred. In 2021, he had a misdemeanor, ABI family violence, that he did an 8-day JSAT on. The following year, 2022, he picks up another Class C assault that he does 5 months probation on. 2023, a terroristic threat, family violence, that he does 8 months deferred adjudication on. And then these two, all within the same year that we're here for today. There are actually 3 cases, one's being TIC as part of the plea, but I feel that because of this defendant's long violent history, he is not a candidate for probation, and that prison would be the most appropriate option.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, we would ask the court to consider the lower end of the cap on this case, which is 2 years. He's expressed a lot of contrition. Of course, in these cases, there are always those, but what we would say in terms of the complainant, we guess we would renew this motion to the court. My understanding is that the state, that the complainant has moved out of state and that we weren't here. So if the court would give us time to possibly get an investigator to try to bring her in to start, at least see if she has an issue with probation, we would ask the court's leave to possibly do so with the reset. But if the court is not so inclined to allow for the state to try to reach her, or for us to reach her, we would ask the court to come in on the lower end of the range here. He understands that there were things he could have done differently. We're also very, very careful in making sure that we're not blaming the quote unquote victim in any way in these situations. But what we will say is that she was a much older than the defendant. There was a significant amount of manipulation, but again, which is why we presented that evidence to the court. We believe that he didn't have the background to be able to develop the ability to react in a way that would be within the guise of the law, as opposed to ways that could be construed as criminal offenses. Given his age, given the support structure that he has, We would ask the court to come in we would ask the court to give him a sentence of 2 years on this case, and we would also ask the court if the court would be willing to